A lot of people are talking about AI, and everyone says AI is going to transform. The most important thing for AI is to have accurate data. If you've got a food recall, let's say romaine lettuce, dare I say, if I can raise that one, but we've got a food recall. At the moment, what happens is they clear all the shelves across the whole of, let's say, the US, North America, and everything goes. Whereas when you've given something a digital identity, when you've got RFID traceability, you can say, hang on a second, we know where that came from, which farm, which location. We only need to take these ones out of circulation. The big thing with RFID is it's what we call one-to-many. With a QR code and other technologies, it's very much one-to-one. You have to scan one at a time. With RFID, you can scan thousands in a couple of seconds, thousands of items. It also gives it a unique identity. So the big transition in food, and particularly then linking to totes, RTIs and trays, etc., those returnable assets, basically, is you can then link that to the food, and then that helps the retailer, the consumer, etc. So from an RFID point of view, what it's basically doing is giving traceability, but with in a way that people can trust the data. That's the important part. I think what's happening is the brands that are looking into the future, and I don't mean 10 years, I mean the next couple of 3-4 years maximum, they're saying the industry itself is changing. So they've got to be more efficient. They've got to reduce labour costs, or at least the labour needs to be better utilised. And technology is going to do that. I think that's what will drive further from the basics that you talked about to why they will implement RFID, because it can operate at scale. So a lot of these big brands, big manufacturers, if they can move faster than they currently do today, that it might mean as they increase production, they actually don't need a bigger warehouse. And that's the big cost. So that short-term saving ultimately they will start to implement things like RFID, but they might not do it overnight. From a C-suite point of view, you need that executive sponsorship that says, this is why we're putting it in. This is what the return on investment will be. And a lot of what we would do as an organisation, for example, is to help people show that return on investment. Is it going to be 12 months or is it going to be 12 years? 12 years, it's probably not going to fly. No, C-suite are not going to sign that off. 12 months, yeah, probably that makes a lot of sense. And then they can obviously share that with their stakeholders. So many organisations have set these 2030 goals, and it's coming 2030, and a lot of them now I think are starting to sort of get a bit nervous about it. It's the same with the technology. They have to paint that and build a vision for the future, as a company did 20 years ago, 10 years ago. If they hadn't done that, they wouldn't be as advanced where they are now. But there's always that battle of budget. Whatever sector and world and whatever you're operating in, you need the accurate data. And that's the importance of why we're focusing on what we're focusing on, and why a lot of organisations have already started transitioning.